Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of We Them Niggas. We're out here at ETH Denver. Shout out to FWB, everybody who voted for me to come out here and work on this project. I'm super excited to be out here with Trav, founder of W3bbie, a big guy in the space. I'm excited to be connecting with you. I know I talked a couple months ago about doing an interview. And it didn't come to fruition because I was being a bit frantic, but
timing,
man. And I'm excited that we're here and getting some IRL because I think that really does bridge the gap, I think. And yeah, how has your ETH Denver been, man?
Real smooth. This is actually my first ETH Denver.
Okay.
So it's been real smooth. Lived up to the hype, I will say. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I like Denver in general, but coming here for a crypto event is really a different perspective, like a unique way to be here, I guess. But it's been cool. No complaints.
And what's been most exciting to you, like being here this year? First ETH Denver, what's the impression of the value?
Most exciting is seeing people I've met over the last 2-3 years in this space at other conferences. I saw a lot of people I stayed at. We stayed at a hacker house in Paris together last summer at ECC. So just running into people I've met over the last couple of years, being with my boys Russ and Dave, we've kind of really built a really cool friendship because of this space over the last 2 or 3 years, and just seeing the growth of what they're building and what other people are building over time. And I think it's really cool to just check in with people in real life and just see the progress.
I appreciate that, and I have to say I agree. I think it's cool, even for myself to see how far I've come in the space. I feel like the space that moves so fast, I think just continuing to show up makes a difference. I know
100%.
I connected with Russ last year at ETH Denver, and him and Catalyst, I was walking around trying to meet black people. Who's here? Who's here? People oh, you got to meet 40 Acres. They're the community.
Yeah, you got
I'm oh, okay. And so it's dope to be back here full circle at the event that he's organized, 100%. Doing interviews with people of color, black people, it's We Them Niggas. So it's dope to be partnering up with Russ and other folks just to highlight and tell the stories. And so
100%.
This is your first ETH Denver, but how did you actually get into the Web3, into the tech world? You say you have a artistic background as well.
Yeah, funny enough, actually real estate brought me into Web3 space. I was just wrapping up some time in the real estate space as doing some real estate development projects actually, and someone who knew my work in the real estate space, who was venturing into digital real estate with NFT-backed, physical locations backed by NFTs, put the bug in my ear about the space and really wanted me on their team for what they're about to do in this space. And they just made it make enough sense where I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. Okay, I want to go see what's going on over here. And 3-4 years later, here I am now, Webby, a few hackathons, a lot of projects, out in the ecosystem, and it's just really cool. It's funny, that's what brought me in, because it wasn't my creative. It wasn't anything creative. It was actually real estate, which is just, funny.
And how long had you been in real estate at that point?
A couple years, maybe. I started out with some rental properties, and then I ended up getting into, during the pandemic, I ended up locking in and really meeting some people because of Clubhouse. I got to meet a crazy network that I probably wouldn't have gotten any other way.
Yeah.
And that led me into real estate development for a while. So maybe about 4 years total, I guess, from that to 2017 to 2021-ish. Yeah.
And what would you say have been some of the key milestones in seeing your progression as a learner in the space, as someone that wants to contribute to the space culturally and other ways, and even now, like you're saying, you do work professionally with HBCU students, helping them think about how they can use this emerging technology and innovative ways to be out in the workforce and on the forefront.
Yeah. So many milestones, man. Too many, honestly. I've done a lot of pivoting. I like that challenge of being able to pivot. I don't like being stuck in one space. As I always say, I have past lives. I like to evolve. I like to be, water, so to speak. So it's so many milestones and so many different areas of work I've done, and I'm really just grateful to even be able to do that. I think that's a skill in itself. It's very challenging. A lot of times making pivots quickly, like you said, this space moves really fast.
Yeah.
So to even be able to be in this space as long as I have been, it's only been a few years, but to be able to adapt to what the space was doing and continue to build and have success, it's just it's a blessing, bro. I'm super grateful for that, and a lot of help from meeting the right people along the way, like yourself. So yeah, too many milestones and names. I can't pinpoint one.
That's okay. What about a core memory?
Webby's first hackathon win. We got our first hackathon win. It was an ETHGlobal and Zora hackathon. I'd never done a hackathon. I did it for my 30th birthday, actually. I decided I was going to sit there for 3 days with 2 of my homies and jam on a project for a hackathon. And we ended up getting we won. We were top 8 finalists. We won a prize from Polygon. We got second place from Polygon, and then we won something, I think, from NFT Wizard or NFT Storage or something like that. And that was just cool. It was really reassuring because I knew I wanted to go into products at that point. I had done art in the space, but I knew I really wanted to get into consumer products and building things that people can use outside of just collectibles. So that was really reassuring, and just like that's what it gave Webby validation in my eyes for us to continue doing what we were doing.
And so was that product that you were building Webby at that point, or was it something different?
No, it was a Webby product. It was a Webby product. Webby already existed, but up until then we had only done a couple of collectible projects. Like we did an AI generated project, which was our first project as a collective.
So I'm remiss to not have really asked you to introduce what Webby is to my audience from the outset. So can you speak about like what Webby is and what your mission is, what your vision is for it?
Right now we are rebranding Web3, right? We're trying to make more sense culturally, especially for our communities, for sure. That's first and foremost. And so yeah, like when you say Web3 or blockchain, crypto, to people who aren't in this space, it comes with a certain, I don't know, energy. Yeah. And so we're trying to rebrand that in our community's eyes and make way more user-friendly products. We've really been having fun in the Web3 gaming space. I believe in the Web3 gaming space a lot, but we're really just a collective of builders of color. A lot of them are already my friends before Web3, who I just kind of pushed down the rabbit hole with me. They saw me having enough success to come look. Some already knew about it, but yeah, we've been jamming, together for about 2-3 years now. I think I can't even remember. I think July 4th, 2022 was Found on Mars. That was our first project. So yeah.
Very cool. And what was Found on Mars? What was the premise of that?
Yeah, that was an AI generated. It was Midjourney generated artwork. It was just a digital collectible project. We right after NFT NYC that year, we went up there and promoted Webby. Like we had just started our Twitter and Instagram, so that was the alpha we were giving out. Like, hey, follow this page. And then we did a no marketing free drop. And my goal was to mint out the project. It was 3,333 pieces. I had never had that many pieces out in the world as an artist. And so I just wanted it to all be collected. I thought that would take a couple of weeks, maybe a month. It happened in an hour, funny enough, and we didn't do any pre-promotion, so that was really cool. And the cool thing that started happening after that is because of Web3, the secondary market immediately started happening after it minted out. And that was just really big for me as an artist to see people buying and selling something I put out in the world for free. And not only did we get to make some money because of royalties, other people made money. That's what I love the most about that is I think it's only done like 2.5 ETH or something like that, but it's like we've made 2.5 ETH for people that off something that we put out for free, which is just really cool.
I mean, I think that's definitely incredible, and I think that really speaks to what's so exciting about the space as a creative.
100%.
Is being able to do your creative process, create what you want to create, and walk away with a portfolio. I think that's something that really excited me and compelled me to start wanting to speak to creatives specifically. And as you're looking at trying to rebrand like Web3, what are the things sticking points? What are the things that you see as making this space culturally relevant? What's your approach to that? What do you feel are guide points?
Yeah, like I said, better user-centered products. Stuff that people can actually use in their lives, whether it's a game because you gain, or something like the Nasty Pass, which is one of our early products we did for DJ Mike Nasty out of New York, which is basically like a fast pass, for his events. If you ever gone to a DJ Mike Nasty party, the lines are
long,
crazy. But to be able to mint a fast pass with different levels of rarity that will grant you not only skip the line, but you can bring a +1 to a +4 depending on which rarity you got. That's real utility. That's something it can make it make sense for people that you don't really have to care about Web3. You go to this party every week, right? You stand in this line for X amount of hours, you spend this money. Not only you get in for free, you get to skip the line and you can bring more people with you. So
that makes a lot of sense. User-centric tools and things that pertain to everyday life. For the next year, this 2024, what's on the horizon for Webby? What should we be looking out for?
We're trying to figure out what our North Star is as a product, and we're trying to just expand the brand. And we're very much so watered too as a collective. We haven't kind of put ourselves in any kind of corner, just taking a hard direction on anything because this space is so volatile and it moves really fast. So we're staying flexible. Just more presence overall, I think, in this space. I think we want to have a larger presence in this space and outside of this space as a brand. So whatever that means, whatever that is that leads to that, the goal is to expand, just to be a larger presence.
I got that. Well, I'm excited to think about how we can play positive sum games so I can amplify what you're up to, how I can show up to you. I know you have a Discord. I'm in your Discord. I've come to some of your calls this year. I'm a big fan of Ken. Ken's come to my calls throughout the year, and Most people don't really come to my Discord calls in the bear
Word.
market, but I think it's been really cool to see Ken as a continuous space.
He's the man, bro.
He's been gassing you up to me for a couple months as well, so I'm excited we really got to do this interview.
I want to say this before we dip. Congratulations on getting that proposal passed, because that's not easy in this space. Like, governance is crazy. It's kind of difficult sometimes. It can be strenuous. So having that success with getting an idea passed by a body of governance in this space is something to be applauded. So salute on you coming out here and fulfilling, what you propose. Because a lot of people get stuff passed and get the funds and then they disappear. So shout out to you.
I appreciate that. I've been trying to make it happen. Shout out to my team. Shout out to Jules. Shout out to Gabrielle.
Yeah.
Shout out to Foreign as well, as we're showing up a little bit. And
Word.
shout out to you for really being here and letting me do it.
Thank you.
Thank you again so much. If you have anything you want to let people know where they can find you, keep up with you, go ahead, shout it out.
Big Trav 205 on Twitter and Instagram. Webby, W3bbie.xyz is our website. You can find everything else from there.
All right, shout out to Webby, shout out to Trav. Thank you all very much. And we had to say booyah, so booyah. Thank you.
Booyah.
It's another episode of We Them Niggas.